Susan Sunday Live, the place to be every Sunday for all your questions. And thank you so much for all of you who've been writing me in response to our newsletters. If you're not getting the newsletter, get on it. Go to SusanLazarHart.com and sign up. I always include a little extra story, something personal about what's shifting and changing for me, and tying it into the theme of the Sunday. And this Sunday, it's about, are you hardwired to forget about you? So let's just wait for the algorithms to kick in on Google for people to know that we're live. Hey, Gloria, welcome. I'm playing with you from Montreal in my office today. Just got back from Ottawa, where I was at some interesting conferences and workshops. Gave me so much more awareness of where I am coming from and how different I play and what it is that I came here to this planet to be and do. And it's not necessarily what we're being told. Surprise! Yeah, that's, I guess, where consciousness comes in, right? Being willing to be in the question and start asking those questions of what it is. Hey, Maureen, welcome. What it is that you came here to be and do. And how often do you actually forget about you, right? About your capacities, your brilliance, what you truly know is possible. Thanks. Hey, Maureen. Hey, when you pop on in, tell us where you're from. We have an international group of Ask Susan members, and tag an Ask Susan member. Tell them to get on in here, especially for the ones you know that have kind of gotten lost down that rabbit hole, trying to be somebody for somebody else. Yeah. Where have you actually bought that you're hardwired to forget about you? Yep. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to read this beautiful letter that came in, which I really so appreciate when you write in and let me know what's popping for you with Ask Susan. Thank you, Susan, for saying something I needed to hear of how I've been distracted by bright, shiny moments, right? And forgetting what I know to be true for me. Hey, Sonia, welcome. So how much is that true for you? You go to a conference, you go to a workshop, you read a book, you put on Netflix, whatever that is for you. You're sitting next to somebody and they're talking about something and you're going, oh, I should be doing that. Oh yeah, if I did that, I would be creating. Notice there's no question there, right? So all the decisions that you've made about what you should be doing, where you've actually left you out of the choice. Does this actually work for me? We talk a lot about what is your foundation? What is it that turns you on? What is it that you create with such ease? Write that down somewhere. And then ask yourself, with what you're choosing, does that vibrate to who you truly be? Right? Because you can't be anybody else. There's only one you. Yeah. So everywhere you bought that, you're actually hardwired to forget you. How many people do that in relationships? They give, and all of a sudden they've lost themselves, right? Well, have you lost yourself, or did you forget about you? Because you are part of the equation in your life, in your living, in everything you're doing and being. So where is it that you forgot about you? I was at a marketing workshop, and it was really interesting listening to how other people are creating, what other people are creating for. And when the person in charge at the end of the day, leading the marketing, was asking me, so Susan, what do you see for yourself 5 years from now? And I was like, well, I actually see myself talking to young women about being fearless. I didn't talk about money. I didn't talk about my goal. It's like, what's the energy of what I see myself with? And there was a big pause. And she said, so everything else you're going to be doing is supporting that, right? And I just thought, well, I'll just answer yes, because it's what she needs to hear, right? So what if it's not about supporting what you want to be doing? It's about contributing, right? You get the difference? You lose you when you decide that you need to support something, rather than being all of you, and what and how you be is a contribution to what you're creating. Is this ringing for people? Let me see some hearts and thumbs up. I'm just going to scroll this up. It was really a big aha moment for me, is how much we've been hardwired. Hi, Eileen. Welcome. How much have we been hardwired to buy somebody else's point of view about us, about the possibilities, about what they see? It's like waving a carrot in front of a donkey, right? And we're like, biting on the carrot, right? I got some hearts on that one. How much are we biting on that carrot of, if I just do what you're doing, if I just play how you're playing, if I just create what you say will create for me, then that's the ticket. Where are you in all of that, right? Like I was looking around today at my paintings, at the banjo that I'm learning to play, at over here, the right relationship for you, just a beautiful flyer somebody created for me a couple of years ago. Surround yourself with all of you and then start asking, does this work for me? Right? Is this working for me? Is what I'm choosing actually creating more for me or less for me? Because you're different than anybody else on the planet. So it's not about negating somebody else's point of view. It's not about buying somebody else's point of view about you. It's about asking, so would this work for me? You know, what is it that I'm actually asking to create? And it's going to change, right? You're the sum of all that you are, have been, and will be, right? It's going to change. But what I'm asking you for is, are you willing to be quiet with you? And just, you know, one of my daughters is a costume designer, and she taught me this a long time ago. She says, Mom, just say, let me get back to you, right? So would you be willing to say, instead of jumping, yes, of course I do it, of course you'll want me, of course, right? So, you know, would you be willing to be quiet with you and say to yourself, okay, let me take a moment with this, right? What part of this works for me? What part about this doesn't work for me? If I choose this, what will that create 5 years from now? You know, and can I chunk it down to what's one step I could take today? Because how many of us choose something 5 years from now and put it on hold, right? Well, and everything you hold on to holds you back from being you. Ooh, I've got a question here. Thank you. This is a bit far. In this equation, if I'm creating, I'm going to open this up. Okay. This is from Anshul. Thank you, Anshul. In this equation, if I'm creating work opportunities away from family, even though I do not like this, what is that I can do here? What's possible that I'm not tapping into? So I would ask myself, does this actually work for me, right? And it's not an either or. It's like, what part about this job works for me? Do I get a sense of what it's creating? Sometimes we take a job because it actually creates the income we're asking for that's going to be the catalyst for something greater, right? Sometimes we're working in something we know that there's another possibility here that's greater for me, right? So the first thing I would ask you, Anshul, is take a breath and be grateful. Like, be in gratitude and acknowledgement of what you are creating, right? So now, what part of that works for you and what part about that doesn't work for you? So when we say, even though I do not like this, there's no question there, right? It's rather than, oh, what else is possible here? What's another possibility? I can be with this. I mean, there's some stuff, oh, I got a heart on that one. Yeah, there's some stuff that is like not fun, not comfortable. And it's like, there's some stuff that I do that it's like, okay. And once I'm in there, and I got another thumbs up. Once I'm creating with it, it totally changes. What energy, Anshul, can you bring to this that will actually change this, right? What can you do here? You can actually be in the question. Anshul, let me know if this rings for you, right? Like one of my kids, she's married to an assistant director. And so, you know, he's off and off for like 2 or 3 months working on his stuff. She freelances as a costume designer working on her stuff. They take turns parenting, right? They have little ones in the house. And they ask, okay, what about this works for us, right? Well, both of them really love what they do. And one of them gets a huge family benefits from what they do. So it's like, oh, could this work for me? Oh, I could take this job just for 3 months. Sure. What would that create? What would that create? Is that getting you to where you'd like to be 2 years from now, 6 months from now? Are you playing, Anshul, with your work that will actually create connections for you for where you'd like to go and what you'd like to do? Those are the questions. That's where you start to include you. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Anshul says, yes, it does. Thanks. That's where you start to include you, right? I'm getting hot here. Woo, these are good questions. Thank you. When you, yeah, really exciting here. When you start to put you in the question, it changes everything. Sonia, let me see. I just have to put this open. I have all those choices popping up after asking, and I don't always make a next step. I often wait and see. Sometimes it's useful to wait, but I feel like lazy because I'm waiting. Is it awareness or laziness? I don't know. Your point of view creates your reality, honey. If you think it's laziness, it's laziness. If you think it's waiting, it's waiting. Here's the information that I have, that when I know, there's a big difference between asking is now the time and waiting, right? Waiting is when you already have that here and you're waiting. What are you waiting for, right? There's no creation in waiting, right? Are you waiting for somebody to say yes, to say no, to do something for you? You're not, there's no you in waiting. Does everybody get that? Let me know if you got, it's like, this is a big one. Thank you so much, Sonia. There's no you in waiting, right? It could ask, is now the time? Yes or no? Okay. Ask whatever it is, tell me when the time is, right? Like I have all kinds of things that I'm cooking with and I'm playing with, and I'm choosing, and it's choice. Choice is 10 seconds, right? I could choose to go to a workshop in Connecticut. I could choose to go to Banjo Camp. They're exactly the same weekend. I'm asking my business to tell me what would create the greatest amount of possibilities. My life, my living, what would create the greatest amount of possibilities. I know that I'm an Uber creator. So sitting here, looking at stuff I'm doing, playing the banjo, ooh, that kind of feels yummy, right? Oh, I wonder what this could add to my life, my living, my business. Creation, we've been talking about, that's 2019. Get clarity with what you're creating, right? That's what we've been talking about. If you're new to Ask Susan, go to Ask Susan YouTube. I'll put it up. There's all kinds of, start in January, there's all kinds of Ask Susan Sundays where we've been talking about creating and creating with your life and creation. So I love this question. What do I not acknowledge here? Okay, I take every choice so seriously. Okay, so there, see, so what do I not acknowledge here is not a question. It could be, here's something that I was playing with myself today. There's something going on with my body and I'm asking questions, and all of a sudden I asked myself, is there any decision I made here in my life, in my living, in my business? Is there a decision I've made here? And it was like, bam, it was just like, full symphonic orchestra going, bah! And I got the decision I made, and it just surprised me so much that was the decision I made. No judgment. I was just like, wow, isn't that interesting? So the next question I asked is, who did that belong to? Right? And as soon as I asked that question, everything shifted and changed in my body, in my business. So the question to ask is, have you made any decisions? Right? There's a huge difference between choice. Choice is just 10-second increments. Choice. Oh, I'm going to choose this. I'm going to choose to talk with you all today. I could choose to do a video at 10 o'clock in the morning, or I could choose to just write something. Well, it felt lighter to write something. Okay, cool. What could that create? Right? It's the willingness to be in the question. Right? So, Sonia, let me know how this rings for you. Yeah. And is this, let me know if I'm hitting the what you're interested in here today. Because it's really about, everywhere you're hardwired to believe that waiting includes you. Like, how many of you were told, don't rush, think about it, take your time. Have you looked at all the angles? Well, there's no energy involved there, right? Energy doesn't lie. You get the energy, sit with you. Sit with you and everything you're creating, get the energy of what you're asking. And then, like I know today, I got some hearts and thumbs up. Yay, thank you. And please pop in with your questions. Again, if you're new to Ask Susan, this is a place to ask your questions, because there's no question that isn't popping in somebody else's head, right? We're all connected. And I'm so grateful for all of you popping in. Tracy, hi Susan. Can you talk about resistance to doing or being more? Can I talk about resistance to doing or being more? Yes, absolutely. So there's something called the joy of failure, right? So I know it's bizarre, but I know if I don't do something, I know what's going to happen, right? I know if I don't write my book, I will forever be saying, I'm going to be writing my book, or I will forever be saying something that has nothing to do with me, with what I'm creating, right? With how I'm being. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, babe. Right? So Tiffany, can you talk about resistance to doing or being more? Ask yourself, we know when we don't do something what that feels like. And often people, like I have clients that work with me from around the world, and, they'll say, well, I didn't make that phone call because I know that they'll say no. Well, then you're actually rejoicing in the decision you already made that you're going to fail. I know it sounds bizarre, but at least I know I can count on that I'll fail, right? I'm the kind of girl that fails. Yeah, I can count on that, and then I can feel right about being wrong. So it's not a resistance. It's more a decision. Hey, Nina, welcome. So Tiffany, it's more of a decision that we make to not do or be. And then let's talk about, okay, everybody, I need to see a thumbs up. Is this ringing for people? Right? And again, if you're watching this in the replay, write your comments in. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, write them in any day. I love to hear from you, and I love to hear the feedback from these Ask Susan Sundays, because then I know where we're going. Oh, I got some thumbs up and hearts. Yay. So the thing is, when we say I want to be more, right? Talk about resistance to doing or being more. Well, who are you being? Right? Like, who are you being when we say I'm resisting being more? Like, have you already decided there's a you over there that's so much more, that's so much greater, that's so much more famous, that's so much more delicious? Well, where are you in all of that? Right? Everywhere you bought that, you're hardwired to ignore you, to acknowledge you. And that's why I keep asking you, please take a breath, be present. The other day I was in the kitchen doing something and I started to get in my head and I was like, rah, 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 rah. And all of a sudden I said, stop, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm actually folding a dishcloth. I said, okay, would you be willing to be present with folding the dishcloth? Just be present with your breath, be present with what you're doing with your hands, gratitude for the person who made the cloth, being present. And all of a sudden, all that blah, 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 blah dissipated. It disappeared because it's not real. What was real in that 10 seconds was just being present and folding the dishcloth, right? That's just my choice for those 10 seconds, right? It's not about being more, it's about being present, right? If you're willing to be present, Tiffany, with what it is that you're asking to create with, what it is you're asking to create with. Ooh, I got lots of hearts on that one, right? If you're willing to be present, you stop the madness. That's where we have those questions like, when I asked myself, what is it that, have I made any decisions? Like, a decision is something you stick with, right? A choice is like, ooh, I could choose this, I could choose this. Well, I decided to do this. I decided to, whatever that was. Like, I decided to get married to this person. I don't know whose head I just picked that out of, right? There's no choice there. There's no choice for anything greater, anything different. And where are you in all of that? Yeah. Oh, Sonia says, brilliant. Thank you so much. So Tiffany, let me know how this rings for you. Welcome. Oh, look. Hi, Rosanna. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Eileen. Welcome. Eileen gave me some thumbs up. Yeah, where are you in all of that? And we get so caught up in everybody promising everything. Again, I talk about this a lot, this whole promise of the internet, and grateful for it because I'm talking to you, right? There's gratitude there, and there's awareness. Where magazines, it's change your body in 3 weeks by this, have a $1 million business in 9 months following this. Where are you in all of that? What is it that you came here to be and do? Right? Tiffany says, amazing. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your questions. It's that willingness to just say, am I forgetting me here? Because we're hardwired to forget ourselves. We're hardwired to believe, buy this, you'll be better. You'll be taller. You'll be skinnier. You'll be smarter. You'll be wealthier. Well, whoa. Take a breath. Where am I in this? Not to say, there could be somebody who's talking about a certain way of eating and your body's like, I'll have that. Cool. Right? There could be somebody that's saying, like the other day when I read that blog by Seth Godin, and I was like, oh my God, I'm bottlenecking my own business. And if you want, check out last week's Ask Susan on the Ask Susan TV, and you'll find that one. But it's like, where are you in those choices, in those decisions? Where are you in them? Right? And because this is your life. You came here to make a difference, right? Or you wouldn't be here. You chose this body, or you'd be like an entity flying around. So what is it that you're asking for? And are you willing to start acknowledging that you need to be right there in the center of your life and your living? And everywhere you're hardwired to forget you. Oh, I got a heart on that. To forget about you. Would you be willing to choose something different? And it's really about letting go that point of view, that thought that says, everybody else before me, that says they have the answer, they have the ticket. I know there was somebody here that came on a couple of months ago and said, oh my God, how do I let go of the fact that I bought somebody's program? Well, You have to start asking, if I choose this, hey Sheila, if I choose this, will I be included in this choice? Am I included in this choice? Because we're taught to choose for others, not for us. So questions, anyone? There have been some juicy ones here. Thank you so much for everybody popping in. That huge awareness, ask yourself, are there any choices I've made here that haven't included me? Because if you've made a choice that doesn't include you, that's a decision. Ooh, I got some hearts on that one. Yeah, that's a decision. That's a conclusion. And you, I promise, you are not included in there, because you are vibrant, you are brilliant, you are ever growing, right? And everywhere that you've been hardwired to ignore you, right? Let it go, right? Let it go. Ask yourself, where am I in this? And what is it that I'm asking to create? And I love your questions. For those of you who are just popping in, we've had some really juicy ones. Anything else popping for you? Let me know now. Hey, Miranda, welcome, welcome. And again, it has to do with every relationship, because you're in relationship with everything and everyone. So everywhere you've excluded you from what you're creating, you could ask, oh, am I hardwired to be that? Like with that decision that I became aware of this morning, it was like, wow, it never occurred to me that I was hardwired with that decision. And so I was like, who does that belong to? Oh, okay, never mind. Let it go, right? Let it go. And start giving yourself the space to be present with you. Yeah. How do you do that? Lower your barriers and just ask a question. Oh, I got a heart and a thumbs up on that one. Is this mine? Would this work for me? Right? Are you willing to be committed to you, being in the center of everything you be and do? I wonder what that could look like. Hey, Anshul, how to know when choice becomes a sticky decision? Well, when it becomes sticky, it's a decision. It's that fast. Thank you, Anshul. Choice is choice, right? Like I chose to make myself this delicious drink. It's like a ginger latte, and just having it next to me, it seems to make my body happy, right? Just a choice. Do I have to drink it? Just a choice, right? It's choice. We choose everything. You know what? This might assist you a bit, Anshul. You have this amazing thing called the body. It's magical. It shifts and changes. All the cells shift and change every. It's choice, 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 choice. What cells? Red, white, movement. My fingers are moving. Who's telling my fingers to move? I'm choosing to move my fingers. It's like we are in constant motion all the time, right? That's what choice is. We choose all the time. But we've made choice the big thing, the choice, right? We choose all the time. I just chose to laugh, right? Oh, well. Right? It's a choice. It's not, what can I choose today that will make my life better? It's like, so I wonder what energies I can play with today that I could actually, would contribute to me, and choose them. Choice has to do with receiving, right? In decision, there is no receiving. Hey, Bonnie, welcome. Anshul, let me know if that assists you. And I hope everybody gets that. Oh, I got some hearts on that. Yeah, choice is choice. It's just choice, right? Choice creates. Choice creates choice, right? It's not about deciding and then forcing yourself to stick to that. Does it work for me? Is this working for me, right? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out. Wonderment. Would you be willing to include wonderment in being present with you? Would you be willing to be in wonderment of you? I mean, it's a pretty amazing, magical thing, this body. And then this being, whoa, how many lifetimes? I wonder. Would you be willing to play with you in all the best ways? So, if there are no more questions, I will be loving you and leaving you. If you want to dig deeper, go to private sessions on SusanLazarHart.com, and let's get a discovery session on the books. Let's see what's popping for you and how we can shift and change it, because it's silly just to hang in there with something that's not working for you. And you know, I go to my mentors. There's all kinds of people out there. It's the willingness to reach out and see truly what else is possible. Anshul, I got it. Thanks for your clarity. You're welcome. Eileen, I get sticky in relationships and what I actually want versus what I'm supposed to want. And if I try to create more, my light and heavy doesn't work. Okay, have you a clearing to help with this? Okay, Eileen, here's the dealio. Choice supersedes clearings. Okay, so what I would ask you to do is write down, take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, write down what you want what you're looking for in a relationship, everything, and then write down what you're not looking for in a relationship, right? And then ask yourself, look at what you're asking for in a relationship, and what are those things that you're willing to be for you. So if you're looking for adventure, curiosity, financial success, great sex, sensualness, sexualness, nurturing surroundings, are you willing to be that for you? Because you've got to choose that first, right? I get the whole thing about clearings. I truly do. But choice supersedes clearings, right? So what choices can I play with today that would actually create more for me in every relationship, right? And everything that doesn't allow that, it's because you're not choosing it, baby. Yeah. So light and heavy has to do with, if it's light, it's right? If it's light, it's like, ooh, like yesterday I was driving home from Ottawa eating popcorn and it was so yummy and the salt was great, and all of a sudden at one point my body goes, okay, we're done. Like, so it turned from light to actually it doesn't work for me. My body's like, it doesn't work for me. So heavy is not a dead end. Eileen says, cool, thanks. Heavy's not a dead end. Heavy is just, it's like, oh, there's something shifted and changed here. Heavy is where you start asking questions. Does this work for me? What else is possible? Body, what else would you like? Have we had enough? You've got to be willing to receive. Anshul says, this is great to hear. Yay. It's the choice to receive what it is that you're looking for in a relationship and be that. I mean, I met Ricky, 44 years ago in a bar, and I was wearing a red clown nose. I'd been traveling around the world like a hippie. He walked in, he'd just been playing tennis, and he was in a 3-piece suit with a tie, and it was 10 o'clock at night, and he walked in with his friend in a bar, and I was in the same bar, and I made him do tequila shooters with a friend of mine. He made me dance with a guy who had a kilt on, told the guy I was his fiance. We'd never met before. Here we are, 40 some odd years later. The thing is, we both had the same foundations of what we wanted in a relationship: fun, sexualness, family, being present with ourselves, being independent, not having to depend on each other, right? Hi, Irina, welcome. So does this make sense for all of you? It's choice, and be willing to receive who you be, right? I never changed me for him. He never changed him for me, right? Because we were willing not to negate ourselves, right? So everywhere you're looking to fix yourself up for somebody else, forget about it, right? Be you, change the world, be you. Write down what you're looking for in a relationship and start being that curiosity, that sense of adventure, whatever it is that you're looking for. Yeah, I love that. Because that's where we're hardwired to forget ourselves, Eileen, is when we're told to be something for someone else. Well, does that work for you? You go out 5 years from now, changing me for somebody else. Ooh. Can't happen. Not there. Yeah. Thank you so much. Great questions. Great questions. Eileen says, I can't seem to tell what I'm feeling is mine and what isn't mine. Feeling frustration or happiness on certain days. So thank you, Eileen. I love that. So is that you speaking, or is that somebody else? Right? When we can't seem to feel something, well, I'd ask you, who are you feeling it for, right? My mom was, I always say I was raised with wolves. I was raised with brothers, and my mother was this very elegant woman with, lacquered nails, lacquered cigarette holder, red lips, the whole 9 yards, and worked every day and came home and wanted me to be a lady, whatever that meant. I had no idea. Right? But I know whenever I'm not being me, when I was trying to be her, it just didn't work. Right? So it's not about feeling that it's yours or feeling that it's not yours. Ask yourself, does this work for me? Does being unhappy work for me? Yes or no? Right? Who am I being when I'm being unhappy? Like yesterday, I was leaving the hotel in Ottawa, and I started to cry in the elevator. I was like so bummed out. I was crying, and I stopped myself in the middle of the elevator. I said, who is this? Because I know in a hotel, we have a capacity to pick up everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And I was like, okay, everywhere you're picking up someone's sadness, someone's frustration, anything in this hotel, would you be willing to let it go, please? And I just went energetically, bam, and it changed everything. So Eileen, the question might be, is for you to ask, what is it, who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventure can I play with? Right? Are you willing to play with you? And let go of the feelings, right? We have a thought, I'm not happy. So then we create the feeling that goes with it, right? Rather than, oh man, this doesn't work for me. Okay, what else is possible? Who am I being here? Have I made any decisions about what happiness or sadness is? Right? Who am I being here? Like, who does that belong to? Eileen, let me know if that gives you any assistance. Right? And really, honestly, slow down. Right? I don't mean slow down as like slow down. I mean, when you're caught up in that rabbit hole, take a breath, stop, be present. What is it you're doing and being right now? Are you breathing? Are you listening to your breath? Are you being just present with you? It's really shifting and changing so much for me to actually, when I go into that space, just be present with gratitude, be present with acknowledgement. My feet are on the planet Earth. Gratitude for that. Gratitude for my surroundings. Just presence. What is it that I'm doing right now? And being present with that. And that's where choice comes from you being present with you. Sandy, wow, thank you so much. That just hit me in the forehead. Thanks, Sandy. Yeah. It's really a cool one. So here's your home plate for this week. Ask yourself, with everything that you're bumping up against, or that's quote-unquote heavy, or that, quote-unquote isn't working for you, ask yourself, is there a decision I've made here that's holding this in place? What decision have I made here? Not is. What decision? And just be present with it. Just be present with it. And it's like, oh, it's amazing the information that you're going to receive. Mwah. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for popping in. And again, if you're looking to dive deeper, SusanLazarHart.com, private sessions, get on the books and let's see what we can change together. Because where two or more are gathered, I wonder what we could create. Live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader that you came here to be. Because you is the fearless leader in your life, not anybody else, right? Yeah. Stop making everybody else more important than you. It's what is it that you came here to be and do, and just get present with it and go for it. Eileen, yes, I just get caught up in feeling the frustration. I will be present and ask a question instead of trying to fix it. Yeah. Okay, so frustration has to do with, frustration isn't real. When we're frustrated, stop the madness, be present, and ask yourself, what is it that I'm asking to create? Just like that. How can I create it with more ease? What information do I require? And truly, what else is possible here with this? Just that. Chunk it down. Start with one step at a time. Miranda says, thank you. Tiffany says, thank you. Yep. And yeah, you got it. Eileen, I love you. You got it. Trying to fix it. You can't fix nothing, honey. Create greater. Right? That's it. If you're trying to fix something, you're going backwards to who you've decided you have to be. And where are you in all of that? Okie dokie. I know, I could be here all day. I love you guys. Mwah. See you next Sunday on Ask Susan Sunday Live. And write in your comments. I'd love to hear, what questions do you have about this, about not being hardwired, not forgetting you. And write them all in, and I will look in every day, I promise you. I love you. Mwah. Adore you all. And catch you next Sunday on Ask Susan Sunday Live. Bye-bye.